A conversation can change your life. We are two ordinary women looking to have extraordinary and authentic conversations. Our desire is for this to be a place where all are welcome, to come as you are, willing to emotionally grow, gain confidence, and tap into your internal wisdom.
When you know and utilize your strengths, the capacity to be forgiving, kind, and encouraging is increased exponentially. We all have amazing strengths and positive attributes. So let's learn from each other. We are delighted you are here on this journey with us and hope you will invite a friend to join you here. Welcome.
Hi there, I'm Connie Wilder. Welcome to our podcast with my podcast partner, Sue Riekels. And today's topic is New Year, New You. It's one of my favorite topics because the new year gives us a sense of becoming our best self, that opportunity to dive in and recreate, reinvent as needed who we are. Who we are. Mary Oliver once said that our one precious life, we get to live this one precious life. And Sue, I'm delighted to have you with me today, as always. And what are your thoughts on New Year, New You?
I love it as we're welcoming 2025. What is it that you want for 2025? I think of this time, as you just mentioned, as setting up this roadmap. Where are you heading? You don't go on a trip without a map. You don't do anything without some sort of a plan. And so, how do we go into the new year with a plan, intentionally looking at what it is you want to see yourself do in 2025, or how you want to be, all the things. How about
Yeah.
yourself, Connie? What
Yes,
what
well, I'm sorry. What did you say, Sue?
no, what drives that for you when you think of the new year, new you? What comes up?
So what comes to mind for me is New Year, New You. It's about this new year, this opportunity to use our brains differently. I've got a couple of exercises. One of them is the start, stop, continue exercise that I want to go through today. And that's an exercise that allows people, the end of the year is a great time to do start, stop, continue. It's one of those exercises that can be done any time of year. It's a great time to reinvent ourselves or continuing inventing ourselves this time of year as well. That's one of the things I want to cover today. And also one of the other things is the vision board, the importance of that. Those are probably my biggest things, the vision board and the start, stop, continue. Those two exercises, as well as writing down our goals for the new year. Although some skeptics say, okay, we get about 4 or 6 weeks into the new year and those goals are left on a piece of paper. What happens to them now? Well, let's touch on that as well. And so, Sue, what do you want people to walk away with today?
Similarly, and I love that yours complements mine and mine complements yours. And that is, before we head into the next year, I want to pause and reflect on this year. If you had things set, if you had a vision board for this year, what did you accomplish? What felt good? Where are you right now? Are there things you want to continue? Are there things you didn't reach that you want to move into 2025? And the way I look at the vision or that vision board is looking at the wheel of life and really looking at all the spokes to that wheel, because as we know, if we're driving a car and our tire is imbalanced, it's going to make a noise and it's not going to ride smoothly. So same thing with our life, looking at each spoke of those wheels and what allows us to move smoothly through the year. So I have an exercise around those two things that I also would like to bring up. So Connie, would you like to start us out with how you start this process?
Yes. And so that exercise, start, stop, continue, is one of the exercises I use with clients. And it's very simple. It's what do we want to start doing? What do I want to stop doing? And what do I want to continue doing? And I've included one entry on each of those areas for today's podcast. And Sue, I'd love to hear yours as well once we get to that. And so, what do I want to stop doing? I want to start, or I'm sorry, what do I want to start doing? Start, stop, and continue exercise. And so this is me being vulnerable a little bit. I want to start working out. I want to exercise 4 times a week, regardless. Regardless, I want to work out. I want to feel better inside my body. And so what does that mean to me? It means walking. And I did that for a week prior to Thanksgiving. And then I got sick. And then the weather got really cold where I live. And so I stopped exercising, and I want to start exercising, and I want to feel better in my body. That's one of the things I want to start doing. One of the things I want to stop doing is saying, I want to stop saying what my husband and I are not good at, which I don't think we're great at making good, big decisions around retirement, around his retirement, around healthcare, those types of things. Sometimes I say, oh, we're not good at that. And I want to stop doing that. I want to stop saying what we're not good at. And you can hear how this would feed into what I want to start doing very easily. Those are tightly aligned. However, for the purposes of this podcast, I want to tell you what I'm going to continue doing. And what I want to continue doing in my own life is loving well on my husband. I want to love him to pieces. I want to love him well. And that's what I want to continue doing. One of the things I want to continue doing. Sue, how about for you? What do you want to start, stop, and continue doing?
Well, thank you for being vulnerable, Connie, and sharing what you're going to start doing and stop doing and continue doing this next year. My start and stop actually kind of overlap. And that is, I want to start and be really mindful with the food that I put in my body. And I want to stop reaching for junk food, or when it's just there, being polite or whatever, and really being mindful of what makes my body feel really good when it comes to the fuel that I put in it. And continuing my practice, my morning meditation and spirituality is one that I really have honed in this year, and it feels really good, and I want to continue that. And also with my family. Those two are key ones that I want to continue connecting in really meaningful, mindful, loving ways and being intentional with that.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. One of the other things that you've had a positive impact on me, Sue, is that I want to start doing that morning routine. I did it a couple of times this past quarter, if you will, and it was fabulous. And I want to start doing that every single day. When I open my eyes, start doing that flashlight of grace specifically on myself, and just be mindful and be open-minded about the way that turns out. So that is start, stop, and continue in a nutshell. And Sue, why don't we flip it over to your wheel of life, if you will?
And I'm going to just pause for a moment, because what we just did by sharing is we also learn from each other. And Connie, there are many things that I have learned from you and am doing myself. And I think that is the beauty of, you don't have to share all the details of your vision, but to be vulnerable a little bit in sharing, because people will take and receive some of those things for themselves, just like you might receive something from them that is really rich. Um, so thank you for that. Yes, the wheel of life. And that is all aspects of our life. And so I want to make sure that I read them kind of and be mindful I don't miss any of them. Is our work and career, our family, our spirituality, our faith, our finances, fun, being social, our health and fitness, personal growth, and then lastly, volunteering or giving back. And so when you look at all of those aspects of your wheel or your wheel of life, noticing areas that are strong. Are there areas that are more vulnerable? Are there ones that you really need to focus on this next year? But I invite you to look at all of them, because they're all really important. And I know you had mentioned previously about alignment. Same thing back to the car. When our car is aligned, all the wheels are aligned, it goes smoothly. But also, if there's just one tire that has an issue, that throws all of it off. So it's balance and alignment, to me, are those two words that go kind of hand in hand. And so a couple of the things I know, for me, I have chosen also a word for my year, and really honing in on that for myself each and every day. It's up on my wall already for 2025. It's a visual, and it has all of these aspects, and what I hope or am going to work towards And I think the piece that for me, when I've done vision boards, is it puts it on paper. It doesn't mean that it can't be flexible. It doesn't mean that it can't change and ebb and flow. But if we don't have a map to start our journey with, how can we even change and take a different path if there isn't even a path that we've started on? So I invite people to think about what that is for them. And Connie, how about yourself? When you think about your vision board, what it has on it, and how would you invite people to think about their next step in looking at 2025?
Well, I love it. I love it. And let me just say the balancing and the contracting, the ebb and the flow, that's what a vision board ought to do. And I love my vision boards. I've got a couple of them here. I have not done my vision board for 2025 yet, and I cannot wait to do it. I realize that my vision boards are typically two year stints, if you will. My last vision board was in 2023, and I love I love the photos. A picture's worth 1,000 words is something that is an adage from long ago. I also want to ask you, Sue, are you comfortable sharing your word for 2025?
I am. Mine is intentional. Intentional with
Yay!
relationships, intentional with my work, intentional with my thoughts, intentional, and really being mindful of that.
Wow, that is so awesome. So awesome. I love it. I love it. That is excellent. Intentional conversations. That's the name of our podcast. So I love it. Okay. And so what else do I do? My vision board, I have it right off the side of right out of view, if you will. And it's a 12 by 12 piece of paper that I put all I have this fabulous photo of 2023, which is from Chicago. I took a picture of that all up in lights. And so I have a bunch of stuff on that vision board that I love. I love my vision board, and that's one of the other things I want to mention is that we get to love well our vision boards. It's your one precious life, you the listener, or me the listener and contributor as well. It's our one precious life. We get to invent it. We get to create it. And let's be mindful of that. No matter what, we get to create the life that we want.
Beautiful. Thank you, Connie. And I love that you love what you look at every single day as you sit in your office. And I think that is the piece, is having it in view. The last piece that I forgot to add that I did put on mine, and that is your attributes when you're at your best. Write a list of words when you notice you're rocking it and you are so proud of who and feel so good. What are words that would express or explain yourself, and put them on your vision board? Remind yourself of who you are at your best. Because trust me, the world can reflect back who we aren't as good as and things we need to work on. But remind yourself of, yeah, who you are at your best, because we all have that within us.
That's fabulous, Sue. That is fabulous. I have something I've used with my clients over through the years, and it's called a good things folder. And it's my good things folder. It's only for my eyes, and the same is true of yours and any of our listeners as well. And that good thing folders, it may be a digital folder, it may be a real folder, it may be both. In my case, it's real. And it's any kind of email that I've gotten, any kind of accolades, any awards that I've won, anything at all that I've done, that I want to be reminded of that, because we know the winds are going to blow in 2025. We know that the winds blow, and that's my way of saying that life can get hard. The winds blow, and seeing that is fabulous. So I love your suggestion as well, your invitation to put those words on our vision board. What are some words that you would add to your vision board about who you are at your best?
Good question. And I want to just say, I love the thought of having a file too, because so often we have down days. Can we pull that file out and remind ourselves of who we are and have been and can be? And so, yes, words that matter, things that we've accomplished or done or are, that really, um, one of the things that is really important to me is being loving and kind. And so, those are two words when I'm at my best. I believe I am loving and kind. And so keeping those mindful and in the forefront, because there's often times when we get triggered or we might not feel so loving and kind. But at the core, we know that's who we are. So those are two of my words. How about yourself, Connie? Would you be willing to share words of yourself that you believe you are?
Absolutely. And a couple of words come to mind: authentic, respectful, trust. The trust word is a word that I have a lot of room to grow as well in the way I trust myself, the way I trust others. The respect is pretty high in terms of my respect for others and my respect for myself, and the same with the authenticity. Those are words that I love, and I love words in general. So I could go on and on about the list of words, yet I've given you a snapshot of my words. So those are ideal. In
And these
fact,
are a list of words that we continually, I hope, add to and revise, or we learn a new word for the same thing, and yeah, change them up.
yeah.
Continue. It's a work in progress, as we are, and the list needs to be as well.
Yeah, and so that's perhaps one of the ways we want to close this is inviting and encouraging. What's your word for 2025, listener? What's your word? If you had to pick one word, it's a fabulous idea. And so what's your word, my friend?
Well, it still is intentional as I go into 2025. It is intentionality. And yes, as we close, I also want to invite individuals to think about their roadmap. Where is 2025 taking you? Who do you want to invite on the journey with you in 2025? Who do you hope to connect with or be a part of your journey? And just really create that map for where you're heading. Connie, anything you want to add in closing?
No, my word right now is grace, and that's because of the flashlight of grace that I've had some experience with my morning routine, but that's all I will add. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Remember, a conversation can change your life. We invite you to be the best version of yourself. When you feel better, you do better.
We welcome hearing from you. To learn more about us, suggest topics to be discussed, or to reach out to us directly, visit our websites listed in